Two guys not related, yet somehow are given the same name. It's time for the Two Daves podcast, where we'll answer the age-old question, are two Daves better than one? And now, here's Dave and Dave.
That's right. You tuned into the Two Daves podcast. Welcome to the Two Daves Nation, where we have actually answered the question, I think, pretty well, Dave. Are two Daves better than one?
I think so too.
I do too. We are into our last interview in our season one break. Yeah.
Dave, yeah? I can't believe you did not say something.
Oh, rats. You say it then.
This ain't tacos.
Yeah, that's right.
You're really enjoying this break, aren't you?
Oh man. Maybe too much of a break, huh?
Yeah.
Oh well. So anyway, we are into our last interview of our season one break. Dave, it's been kind of nice to have a little break, hasn't it?
It really has.
It's
been nice to have a break from you.
Yes, I know. I enjoy that as well.
True. Yeah, you've enjoyed having a break from yourself. That's nice. Yeah.
Well, sometimes you have to just leave reality. So yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I was out of town. I was out of state last week for a few days, so it was a nice getaway.
Yeah, did you enjoy your golfing?
I did enjoy golfing and enjoyed eating and enjoyed the talk that I had with some other pastors. So it was a good time.
You know what I did?
You worked.
I worked. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, I think maybe we've reminded people before, but we are continuing to work on the podcast, of course, even though we have a break.
Yep.
Tonight, we're doing a couple others after this. So we will already be through episode 5 of season 2.
Yeah, we're already rolling here in the second season. I know that you're going to enjoy it. What has happened is we did 30 episodes. That constituted our first season. A lot of people said, no, you won't even make it through your 4th episode. But we defied the odds, Dave, didn't we?
Oh, I don't care what your mom was saying. We did it anyway.
I know it. And we did 30 episodes. We completed a season. We're very glad to be able to take a little bit of a break. During this break, we're just kind of having these mini episodes. And, kind of like...
That doesn't sound good, Dave.
It's kind of like every time you have a message or whatever, you have a mini episode. But
yes, I do.
But what we're doing is we're just bringing on different people, different listeners who have been with us. And they're just kind of sharing their experiences with the Two Daves podcast. And this will be our last mini episode. Starting next week, we begin our 2nd season.
Woo!
Yeah.
Do you hear the music?
I do. I thought it was my meds.
No, hey, well, probably is. It's probably that ringing in your head again.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? My wife, I don't know about your wife, but to celebrate season 1, it was incredible what she did.
What did she did?
What she did? Well, when I walked in, I said, I just finished season 1, honey. And she got all excited. All I could hear her say was, so, that's,
My wife said, hey, I finished season 1 also. I just finished season 1 of Pretty Little Liars.
Is that what she's calling our show?
No, there's nothing pretty or little about us.
No, there's nothing. No. Hey, tonight we have a friend of mine, Anna Wolvers. She's was a teacher at a school that our church adopted for many years. And she was also part of our young adult fellowship that we had. And so she gives good comments ever so often. And she's one of the few that do that. We try to get comments, don't we, Dave?
Yeah, we do. We've had some good comments from our other three listeners.
Yes, we have. So 4 listeners. That's great.
Yeah.
But I thought we'd have Anna on tonight. And Anna, why don't you just go ahead and share with us who you are, what you do, and then we'll start bombarding you with questions, okay?
I am Anna Wolvers, and like Dave said, I was a special education teacher for 14 years at an elementary school. I left 2 years ago, and now I do Wolvers U LLC, which is tutoring and consulting in daycare. So we help homeschool children and families. I have a teaching degree still, and I've also done drop-in daycare and part-time daycare and a little bit of pet sitting. So just a little bit of basically anything. And I just got asked last week if I would help clean an elderly family's house part-time. So I guess I'm just like a Jill of all trades.
So are you going to actually clean Dave and Charlotte's house then?
Well, I guess if I'm asked.
I thought that was the elderly couple who asked you. So, okay.
A former teacher's parents or in-laws are needing.
Oh, all right. Well, Anna, we want to welcome you to the podcast. And I'm just curious, how did you get started listening to us?
Like Pastor Dave said, I kind of have a church buffet lifestyle. I go where I'm spiritually fed. I really loved his connection after our town had a tornado, and like washing people's clothes and giving food and having the convoy of hope. I mean, he was just like all over nonstop helping. And they have a young adult group that I had connected with through volleyball at New Hope, and I just like the humor. I like the spiritual uplifting. And sometimes when you're just with kids all day, you just need like adult conversation and mindlessness away from the barking and whining dogs, and just kind of connecting with what's going on in life too.
Dave, did you catch that? She likes the adult conversation. You sir, our podcast she's talking about.
I heard more the mindless conversation is what I heard. That's what I took out of that. So, that's kind of funny.
I'm impressed that she says that she enjoys the humor, because that's you're in a minority, and I'll just tell you that.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Maybe that's from all the years of special education too.
That could be, which is probably why you're a friend of Dave's. But anyway, maybe you could share with us some of your favorite episodes that you've heard us give.
I don't know which number it was, but I know I think you had Paul Daniels, who was a local counselor dealing with like just like depression and dealing with the things of life this last year. So the
Marcia Melhoff we had.
Maybe, it was like medical health counseling or something. I know that one really stuck out in my mind. And just like the fingernail joke or fact, that was kind of gross, but and randomly after that, the Facebook spies, they like posted an article about it after I watched your podcast. It was like, really, there are more things you could spy on than gross toenails or whatever that people keep.
Do you remember that one, Dave? That episode?
I do.
We were talking about the crazy things that people collect.
And that this guy collected toenails.
And he collects them in jars from decades.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do. It was disgusting. And the picture that I shared on Instagram was really disgusting.
It was. But, I wanted to get that for Anna for Christmas, but they were out of it due to COVID shortage. So.
Yeah.
So what do you like about anything else you like about the podcast? I mean, definitely I'm funnier than the other Dave. I mean, and
funnier looking,
whatever else. But is there anything that kind of, some people get tired of listening to podcasts, but is there anything that maybe, that you enjoy about this, or is it
Objection.
Yes.
You're leading the witness.
I am leading the witness, or is it that because of your connection to us, maybe that's something that keeps you there? We need inquiring minds want to know.
Honestly, I don't listen to a whole lot of podcasts. So you are one of the few I do. Just because I like having to, like I said, I have a church buffet lifestyle. So I like hearing different perspectives, not just local. I like the positivity rather than all the drama that's on Facebook while I scroll. Mm-hmm. And I also like the theological background of both perspectives to bring about topics that are sometimes shunned. That's partly why I go to different churches, because some just want to preach a feel good message. And I need like the heart and soul of the Bible, like, even if it is ugly, to deal with all that we're dealing with right now: mandates, restrictions, isolation, depression, rejection from medical world. It's something new to hear about, hear different people's life experiences, and that biblical aspect from two different people, even though you're named Dave, so we can't forget it.
That's right. That's right. We're not related, but we do have the same name.
Other Dave, when he said your last name, I was like, that's kind of funny. He's a pastor. Is it like the church pew or the stinky pew?
Yes. Yes. The truth is that I sit in my own pew.
Well, when she mentioned the ugly, stuff, I figured that's the other Dave that you're talking about, Anna. So, we're grateful. I just want you to know we're grateful for all of our listeners. And this first year, we didn't really know what to expect. We were just hoping our moms would listen and other family members. But when the other family members wouldn't listen, and all we had was our parents, so it's good to know there's people outside of the family that are listening to this, and so we appreciate that a lot. Is there any, I guess, Dave, what have we been asking lately? Constructive criticism that might help the two Daves in their podcasting endeavors. Get ready. She's a teacher now.
I was going to say, I'm a little critical and sometimes have a short time. So like following a flow, so that if we don't want to hear all the humor and the backstory and we just want to hear the meat and potatoes, we know to like scroll the bar to like 15-minute mark, so that we can hear, the message to the title. Yep. I get a little OCD or distracted ADHD sometimes. So it's like, okay, I've got kids yelling, or I've got limited time before the next case or whatever. So it's like, I do like that scroll bar, but sometimes I do want to listen to all of it. But sometimes I just want to hear like, okay, get on to the medical advice or whatever the topic is.
Yeah.
Now, you're not the first to say that, Anna. Well, there's a lot of people, and that's why we did this. When we first started this, we were thinking about how long to do it, and Dave said 5 minutes, and I said, no, that's too short. So, but
Dave didn't say 5 minutes.
So anyway,
I can't say anything in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
time.
That's true. That's true. But we have a lot of people that travel, so they will listen to half of it going and half coming back. But the reality is, it's nice to be able to forward it, move it to where we want. There's some people that have said, well, we love the first part, and there's other people that said we want to get, just like you said, to the meat of it. And I didn't know this, Dave, until now, that we actually have the meat of the podcast somewhere in there.
Yeah. Where did I miss that?
We're learning something tonight.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Well, we
I have one more.
Yeah, go for it.
I love tacos, but I also love pumpkin spice. So if you're going to do a taco seminar session, you need to do a pumpkin spice and fall in all things nice.
Now, I had today in my office, I have pumpkin spice, sugar-free pumpkin spice creamer. So I used some of that because it was 60 some degrees today. Felt a little fallish. The
debate. Tacos are better than pumpkin spice. It could be a total podcast.
Maybe Dave could eat a taco and put some pumpkin spice in it and just kind of give us, an update on what that tastes like.
Well, I'm going to make a very unpopular statement right now, but I'm not a big fan of pumpkin spice.
See, it's a whole podcast topic.
See, that's So a lot of people don't like you as well. So, we're pretty good.
I'm like pumpkin spice. I'm not for everybody, but I got a pumpkin spice latte one time at a Starbucks, and I think I texted it or something to my family, and one of my daughters said, "You are a white girl." So, yeah.
I just saw a meme about white pumpkins were the pumpkins that had the spice latte sucked out of them.
Oh boy, we do need to do a podcast on this.
Okay, let's work on it.
Yeah, so have you ever shared our podcast with anybody? And if not, do you know how to? I'm talking to a teacher, but evidently this doesn't go as easy as it is as we think, right?
And if you do know how, can you please explain it to us?
Yes, I have. I spend a lot of time on social media. So yes, there is a share button at the bottom. And I guess I didn't know that there was a visual thing because I am more a visual learner myself. So sometimes hearing it and listening to it, I don't always hear it like I would if I saw it. But yes, I've shared a few. It just came to me too when the post office lady had her injury, illness, wreck, whatever.
Yeah.
I watched that one too. But sometimes when it airs like 2 or 3 weeks later, people don't realize like, oh, that already happened in the past too. Cause I was like, what? We had another one? What's going on? Right. So I guess when you share it, Facebook likes to throttle things too. So send it in private message if it's important.
Yeah. Well, we're a little behind the times too, so when we do an episode like this episode will be airing next week, correct?
But a lot of the episodes we do maybe 6 weeks in advance. So
yeah. So OCD Dave knows all those dates. I don't, but well, I appreciate that. We need to work on some things, Dave, for season 2. I think we are. I think we're becoming a better 2 Daves.
And yes, and Anna, you did mention video. We are planning. Our fingers are crossed. We're not sure, but we're planning starting next week with season 2. We begin a video podcast. So we're still not sure, but we're working on it.
Yeah, we don't know if the camera will actually be able to take the other Dave's face.
Yeah,
and so we're just waiting to see. But hey, anything else, Dave?
Well, yeah. Is there anything in particular that you'd like to hear?
Besides pumpkin spice?
Yeah, besides pumpkin spice.
Give us something we can chew on now. Is there any other topic? Are there a couple topics or something else?
Or maybe an interview you'd like to hear? Or...
Like I said, I have a church buffet lifestyle, so I'm open and I like to hear a lot of things. I personally, I know he's not for everyone, love like Pastor Greg Locke online. Yeah, he is a spitfire for Jesus, and he is like taking numbers and not apologizing for it. And like living basically faith over fear. And I would love to see a lot more of that locally. In fact, I took a break from church for a while because one wasn't open because thank you, derecho. Who knew? Could we at least get water with that inland hurricane? But I guess I'm just, maybe a topic is not all souls who wander are lost. Because I don't have a home church I connect with. I go to many. I watch many online, and I'm sure I'm not alone, but I don't get that fellowship and the Bible study and that consistency and the connectedness because a lot of people just skirt around it and just want to give you happy joy messages. And I want like, okay, this is what biblically says is going to happen, and this is what we need to do to stick together as Christians to overcome it. And what is the church going to do when half the people are unemployed because of these mandates and can't provide for their families, and depression increases and joblessness and homelessness and all of this? Like, I don't remember. I think I shared it with you. There was a podcast or a message or something about what should churches be doing now. And I shared it with all my pastoral friends, and it was very enlightening. So that would be an awesome podcast topic to address from 2 different church perspectives, and maybe your different spin on how you're going to address it.
Yeah,
that's deep level, like 10 plus right there. But I think we can attempt some of those, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Those are good. Are you writing those down, Dave?
I am.
Okay, so we do. He's the writer downer, and I'm the talker upper.
Yeah.
So that's how we go. Well, that's awesome. I want to thank you for coming on our podcast, Anna. And again, it's very refreshing to hear from our listeners, all 12 of them, and we're grateful for you. And I don't know. Do you have anything else to say, Dave? If not, just take us out.
Well, I'm just glad, Anna, that you joined us. I'm glad that somebody's actually listening out there. And I'm just excited to begin our second season next week. And I want to thank those people who are responsible for putting us on the air every week. I want to thank, your sons, Lane Martin, who has been editing and who has been doing our artwork. Your other son, Clay Martin, who has been responsible for getting us set up on social media. My son-in-law, Marcus Hooper, is our announcer and has done a lot to help us get started. And then Andrew Adams was editing until he got married. So I'm sure he's going to be helping us too in the future. So
yeah. We can't. This is not done with just Dave and I. We need the help, and it's a community, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's a community. Even though our community's small, we're hoping it grows. The next census, maybe we'll be able to grow. So hey. Anyway, hey, thanks for listening again. And make sure you share our podcast. And, if you need to, go make a poster, stand on the corner of your street somewhere and say, hey, listen to the Two Daves podcast, because we want you to remember, Dave, you know what they need to remember.
The two Daves are better than one.
There you go.
I just love to think about it. I don't know.
Good job, Dave. We'll see you next time.